Okay, we are now live and ready to begin.
Good evening. I will now call the Wednesday, November 10th, regular City Council meeting to order. Mr. Schaefer, lead us in the flag salute, please.
Please hold. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
To the republic,
which stands one
one
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item.
Next item is roll call. Councilmember Bruins,
Present.
Councilmember Daniels,
Here.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Here.
Vice Mayor Middleton,
Here.
and Mayor Miller.
here,
This meeting of the Citrus Heights City Council is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T U-verse cable systems. This meeting is closed caption and live streamed at citrusheights.net. Tonight's meeting replays on Sunday, November 14th at 9 a.m. on Channel 14, and the meeting can also be viewed on the city's YouTube channel.
Next item, please.
Next item is approval of agenda.
I move approval.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Bruins, second by Councilmember Daniels. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bruins,
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels,
Aye.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Middleton,
Aye.
and Mayor Miller.
aye,
Next item.
Next item is a proclamation of the City of Citrus Heights recognizing Community Development Director Colleen McDuffie for her service to the City of Citrus Heights. And I will turn it over to City Manager Christopher Boyd.
Thank you, Amy. Good evening, members of the City Council. You know, it's always bittersweet and difficult to bid farewell to a respected staff member, but our Community Development Director, Colleen McDuffie, as you know, is retiring. And Colleen served the city for 20 long years with the utmost dedication and perseverance. She started her career with the city of Citrus Heights in 2000 as a senior planner. Due to her diligent performance and innovative thinking, she was promoted to the position of planning manager within a span of just 5 years. And after that, she continued to work hard and was appointed to the position of Community Development Director in early 2020. And during her tenure, she has had a significant role in many of our major projects, including the adoption of the city's first general plan, the creation of the Stock Ranch specific plan, the comprehensive update and reorganization of the city's zoning code, and the adoption of our first greenhouse gas reduction plan. She was also instrumental in bringing Costco, Walmart, the SBA, City Hall, the medical office building, Mitchell Farms, and many others to fruition. She also had a significant role in guiding the Sunrise Mall plan that the council will be hearing tonight. And as we know, that project will be pivotal for the future economic health and revitalization for the city. Colleen's unwavering commitment to the community's quality of life is undeniable, and her continued efforts and outstanding leadership speaks volumes. It's been an absolute pleasure having her on my executive team. Her work has truly made a lasting impact and one that has changed our city for the better in so many ways. So words cannot express my gratitude and appreciation for you, Colleen. And while you'll definitely be missed, the great work you did here ensures they will not be forgotten. So thank you for your dedication and friendship, and congratulations on your well-deserved retirement. And with that, Vice Mayor, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. As you can see, our city manager has really outlined all of the great things that Colleen has done for our community and for our community. And we have a proclamation for her. Most of this has been covered, but there's one part that really sticks out that I want to make sure I read aloud. And it says, to work alongside Colleen McDuffie was to witness her heartfelt commitment to her profession and this community's past, present, and future residents. Colleen always fostered a spirit of fairness and compassion, which will forever remain the truest testament to her character, integrity, and humility, and will, after all is said and done, be her greatest legacy. Therefore, it be resolved that the City Council of Citrus Heights does hereby commend Colleen McDuffie for her many contributions, steadfast dedication, and exceptional service, extending her the sincerest gratitude and appreciation for all she has done for the city, this community, and all those who live, work, and play here. She has been a steadfast guiding hand in making sure that this city has become what it has over the last 20+ years. And I wish her the best in her retirement. And I would like to open it up to any comments from council members. Mr. Schaefer, do you have anything?
I'd be delighted to participate in this. This is when I first came to the Planning Commission, I was working with Colleen. She was welcoming. She was incredibly honest and straightforward about in how she conducted business. Any questions I had, she was right there. I just can't express enough how much that I'll miss her. I'll miss seeing her around the city hall. She's just super delightful and just was wonderful to work with, and best of luck, Colleen. It really was a pleasure.
Councilmember Burns?
Thank you. Gosh, Colleen, how fast 20 years has gone. I remember when you were hired, I was working for the chamber at that time, and I recall how pleased Janet Ruggiero was that we stole you away from Roseville. And so that was a real great start. But you know, one of the things that I want to leave with you, and it was alluded to a bit in what Vice Mayor Middleton read, but and that is that one of your shining accomplishments that will last a long time is the fact that you've developed your staff to succeed you, so that what you have begun and worked on for the last 2 decades will continue on without a hitch. And so I'm very grateful, of course, for all that you've done for our community, but especially for the fact that you've developed your staff to carry on the work that you've begun. I just wish you all the best. I will miss you as well. You're one of our longest staying employees, and I know Casey will do a great job filling your shoes, but it won't be easy. Thanks so much.
Councilmember Daniels?
Thank you. You know, there are very few people that touch so many sections and parts of our success in Citrus Heights, and Colleen is certainly one of them, and you're the top. The uniqueness about Colleen is that she's well known not only within the city and the staff, but also the community and the things that had to get done to make us a success. You have been incredible. I have appreciated you when you have schooled me in the fashion of more about, I'll say, like a loving mother, and when I needed to be schooled. And you will be incredibly missed, incredibly missed. And again, there are very few people that I can think of, very few, that will leave their fingerprints on the success of Citrus Heights the way that you have. You will be missed, and I want to thank you dearly for the dedication that you have shown to make our city a success. Thank you so much.
Miller, you have the floor.
Well, thank you very much, Vice Mayor Middleton. Trouble with going last is everything you want to say has been said. Colleen, I'm truly going to miss you. You were really soft-spoken, and you were fair and you were firm, but you did carry a big stick. I mean, you enforced very fair policies, and yeah, I hearken back to the dynamic duo of Janet and you, and I miss Janet, and I think I'm going to miss you just as much. I wish you well with all your future endeavors, Colleen. Good luck.
Thank you.
And Colleen, just so you know, we have these beautiful flowers here for you.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll make sure that they get hand delivered to you. And we also have your proclamation here signed by all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you again so much for your dedication. And I would like to open it up for you to say a few words if you would like.
Yeah, sure. Just a few words. I'd really like that. First, gosh, thank you, Council, so much for your very kind words. They really mean a lot to me, and also City Manager Boyd for your words as well. I consider myself very, very fortunate that I have been able to work here in Citrus Heights for so many years. I love this community. I've loved getting to know so many residents over the years through all the different projects. Throughout the years, one thing that has been constant, and that has been the support of the City Council, and that has always meant a lot to me. And it's always helped me a lot to be able to do my job. And I've also appreciated the support and the leadership of Chris Boyd, especially these last couple of years once I became the Director of Community Development. I believe our staff here in Citrus Heights is the best, and I know that working with you, all of you are going to continue to do great things. Really excited, especially about Sunrise tomorrow, which we'll be talking about later tonight. I live very close by, and I will always be nearby watching and be cheering for continued success here in Citrus Heights. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Gosh, next item.
The next item is comments by council members and regional board updates.
Okay, Councilmember Daniels, you want to kick us off?
Sure, thanks. No board meeting. Let me see. Yesterday, I had the privilege to attend the Citrus Heights Chamber Luncheon and listen to a presentation. Hold on, excuse me. I'm going to try to make it stop. Okay. Listen to a presentation from Republic Services on our future of recycling all of our food, and so that was nice. And then I want to wish tonight a very happy birthday to the United States Marine Corps, 246 years old today. My Marine Corps son is celebrating by being on an airplane headed to Japan for the next 6 months. And I want to thank him publicly for that. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. None of us would be here today in the fashion that we are, free, without veterans. And I'm hoping that everybody will take the opportunity to reach out and thank a veteran. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference. And so please do that. And also tomorrow we will be having a ceremony at the Sylvan Cemetery for Veterans starting at 11 a.m. So if you can make that, please come out to that. On Saturday, November 13th, from 10 a.m. to I think 12 p.m. at the Citrus Heights Town Center, there will be a program called Reptiles Take Over. It's for kids. It's got a DJ and crafts and animals and stuff like that. So if you get a chance, go out there and support our local businesses at the Citrus Heights Town Center, Citrus Town Center, at Sunrise and Greenback, and take your kids with you. Coming up, if you can believe it, is Christmas. And since we're not meeting before this, I want to let everybody know that Santa will in fact be at the Sunrise Mall this year. He'll be there from November 18th through December 24th. So get up there, support our mall, and get a picture with Santa and make it a fun time. And then finally, I believe on December 4th, Toys for the Troops Kids will kick off its 19th annual toy drive at the same center, to Citrus Heights, the Citrus Town Center at Sunrise and Greenback. And they'll be there through December 19th. So December 4th through December 19th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., collecting toys for our military troops. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Burns.
Thank you very much. I had a Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District meeting this morning. We had some updates on our Echo Water project and approved some grant funding. It was a relatively short meeting, so there's not a whole lot to report from that. And following that, we had a PAL board meeting, and very, just very proud of our PAL board and our officers in particular for all that they have been doing for the kids during the COVID time that we've been enduring. We had our second annual reverse trunk or treat, and very happy to report that it was very successful. It was bigger than the last year. We partnered with Dignity Health. They helped sponsor it, and they allowed us to expand it into their parking lot, which greatly reduced the wait time for people. We had over 2,000 people come through. Last year, we estimated somewhere between 1,600 and 2,000. This year, they had a pretty accurate count on that. And we had, not only did we have exhibits done by our police department, but we had exhibits done by the community as well. And so no doubt in my mind, this will be an annual event. I want to thank everybody who participated. I'd like to thank the Sunrise Marketplace and Stones for supporting it with a monetary donation and candy. We actually ran out of candy and had to go and buy more because there were more people than we anticipated, and even had to help some of the other exhibitors refill their candy supplies because they also ran out of candy. So it was a very successful event. I want to thank them for that again. We got a report from on our vape project, which is a grant that funds it, teaching kids the hazards of vaping, and also doing outreach to the business community to not sell to the kids. And we partnered with the county and visited 10 businesses, 5 in Citrus Heights and 5 in the county, with a decoy, basically an underage person, to see who would or wouldn't sell to them. Very happy to report that 100% of the Citrus Heights businesses were in compliance, did not sell. Unfortunately, the county businesses fared not so well, so county's got some work to do to help protect our kids from that as well. We are going to be doing Shop with a Cop this year, but it's going to be done virtually with cautions relating to COVID. So that will be done on the 15th of December. We also will be having our holiday that's already been kicked off, our holiday gift to needy families. So that's on our website for all the dates on that. And then I also wanted to mention that a week ago Saturday, I attended a ceremony at the Roseville Cemetery, which was a dedication ceremony for Gold Star families. And these are the families of military personnel who have lost their life in the line of duty. And one of our longtime citizens, Tanya Wagner, is a Blue Star mom, and her daughter is a Gold Star daughter. So they are a Gold Star family. And it was a wonderful dedication. Jim Monteaton and his wife were there as well. But I just like to take this moment, because Veterans Day is tomorrow, to honor and support the families of veterans, because they experienced their losses for decades past the event itself. And those of us who have veteran fathers and veteran brothers are so grateful that they did come home safely. And so I'm going to take Councilmember Brett Daniels' suggestion and thank a veteran by flying out tomorrow morning to Michigan to go say hello to my brother Jim, who's a Vietnam veteran, and personally thank him for his service and spend some time with him. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Schaefer.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So I'm going to depart just a tidbit from the sentiments of my fellow council members. I just want to convey support for Mesa Verde High School, who has, I don't want the incident where a student was selling a new kind of drug called paint And I just want the school to know that that doesn't define who we are as a community. And while we seem to be getting a lot of press, it's being carried across the country. And I just want to remind folks that, you know, those folks over at Mesa Verde High School work very hard, and they really deserve our support in a time where there's at least a small crisis going on. So just wanted to convey that that support to them. Also, I'm a veteran myself. I have a fellow council member. Brett Daniels is also a veteran, and I do want to thank veterans everywhere, and I will certainly be out at the cemetery tomorrow to honor our fallen veterans and the veterans in general. And then later this month, it's just coming so early this year, have dear family members that are that happen to be Jewish, and so the Hanukkah festivities kick off on the 29th and go through December 6th. So I want to wish all of the Jewish families in our community a happy Hanukkah.
Thank you. Mayor Miller?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. As most of you are aware, Monday we did the State of the City address, and I just wanted to say what a wonderful job Nicole Baxter did putting the whole thing together. Chris Boyd and Alex Turcott did a great job, and a lot of our community members. So I was very proud to be part of that. And if you haven't seen it, you can go to our website. There's it's been taped, and there's a rebroadcast of it if you'd like to watch it. And also a way to take the survey at the end that was live, but you could still take the survey. Please go to our website. Then yesterday, I traveled to Orlando for regional transit along with the general manager, Henry Lee, and City of Sacramento Councilwoman Katie Valenzuela. And we accepted the award from the American Public Transportation Association for the 2021 Outstanding Public Transportation System. And I'm so proud of the entire RT staff and the job they've done through this pandemic. And this award really solidifies that. I think I'm setting the record for being the furthest from a council meeting. I'm in Hoover, Alabama with my veteran daughter. We're going to celebrate Veterans Day tomorrow. And had the pleasure tonight of watching my grandson's team win the football championship. They came back in the fourth quarter to win 12-7. I've got my
team
fan club here. And that's really all I have to report.
Thank you, Mayor. And I don't have much to report, but I do want to echo the sentiments of my colleagues about making sure you're out there, you are talking to your veterans, thanking them, and really showing your support. My father and all of his siblings were all in the military, each in one branch, and it's important that we make sure they know we support them. Also, Councilmember Schaefer, thank you for bringing up the issue about the new drug on the streets, paint. It was well overdue time for me to have that conversation with my 10-year-old child about peer pressure. So I encourage all parents with young children to start having those conversations early if possible to protect our kids and our youth. And with that, we'll move on to the next item.
Next item is public comment, and members of the public may address the council on any agenda item of interest to the public and within the council's purview, or on any agenda item before or during the council's consideration of the item. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. If you wish to address the council during the meeting, please either complete a speaker identification sheet and give it to myself, and if participating via Zoom, use the raise hand function or *9 from a telephone to indicate your desire to speak. When your name is called, I will allow you to unmute your microphone. I do not have any written public comment. We did receive one speaker card for public comment, and I do see one raised hand.
Okay, we'll take the speaker card. If we could have Mary Jane Lopez, please come up. Evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. In light of the special session that we just witnessed, I wanted to really express my support as a small business owner, as a chamber member, that I am excited about the phase 2 allocation to the small business community. I do have a suggestion. I would like to suggest the addition of some community members to sit alongside as an advisory committee to be involved with the deliberations with staff and council members in receiving, evaluating, and eventually allocating those funds. I think it will be a valuable voice from our community members, especially as small business owners, to have this partnership. And of course, I would like to volunteer as one of your small business owners. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. We had some raised hands.
We do have one raised hand from a telephone call in. The last 3 numbers end in 640. And you have been allowed to speak. If you can unmute yourself and state your name. Are you able to unmute yourself on the telephone? Okay, there we go. If you could state your name.
Arthur Kitterling.
Hi, you have
And-
3 minutes. Go ahead.
All right, it might not even take that long. I just wanted to find out 2 things, and that is, did you choose a chief of police yet for Citrus Heights, and what is the interest part that is being charged with Citrus Heights on those loans that you were talking about tonight on the special meeting?
So, Arthur.
And that is
Hi, Arthur. We do have a police chief at this point. His former Commander Turcotte. He is our police chief. And when it comes to the interest rates on the loans, Mr. Zanoni, would you mind?
We can be very quick, but we need to be careful about having a discussion about a non-agendized item. But Mr. Zanoni, if you could just.
no, I know. Just basically is what I was wondering, like the percentage, like that was it. It didn't have to be mentioned and all in detail or anything like that.
May I ask Arthur a clarifying question, please? Arthur, this is Jeannie. Are you referring?
Yes.
Are you referring to the statement that was made about loans to the business community?
Tonight, yes.
Yeah. Okay, that was clarified.
About tonight.
Yeah, they're not loans; they're grants, so there will be no interest.
They're grants.
They're grants.
They're
yes.
grants.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Because I heard Chris mention, I believe it was Chris that said that they were loans.
Yeah, that was corrected.
And-
that was corrected, Arthur.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was it, though.
Okay.
And the reason why that you haven't seen me though too is because in count of that I moved in another area and hopefully I'm going to be here temporary though.
Oh, well, I was wondering. It's good to hear your voice.
Yes, I will. Yes, and thank you, Council, very much.
Thank you, Arthur.
And thank you.
Right. Next item, please.
Next item is the consent calendar items 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Daniel, second by Schaefer. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Bruins,
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels,
Aye.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Middleton, and Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Before we go on, may I ask a question? In our regional sanitation meeting this morning, we had the same item as our item 6, and it was stated that we were going to have to approve that in every meeting. Is that your understanding? That was-
Correct. You have to do it every 30 days. So not every meeting for us, but every
Okay.
other meeting.
Okay, thank you.
The state law requires that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next item.
Next item we have is public hearing, item number 9. The subject is Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan. And the recommendation, there's a resolution to certify an environmental impact report approving CEQA findings and statement of overriding considerations and adopting a mitigation monitoring and reporting program, adopting a resolution, adopting a general plan map amendment for the Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan, introducing for a first reading an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights, amending Article 5, Chapter 106.50 of the zoning ordinance, rezoning the property from shopping center into the Sunrise Tomorrow special planning area, and adopting a resolution adopting the Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan.
All right, well, good evening, members of the City Council. I'm Chris Boyd, the City Manager. Tonight's public hearing of our Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan is truly a historic moment. I'm honored to kick off our presentation, and before we dive in, I want to take a moment to emphasize the amount of hard work and thoughtfulness that has gone into our plan. First, painting a vision for the future like we have done with the Sunrise Tomorrow plan takes an extreme amount of vision, research, and engagement. There's a reason other cities around the nation are looking to Citrus Heights as an example of how to drive revitalization of dying malls. That's because we've been bold in our commitment to the future, and we're not taking this lightly. In our past workshops, council presentations, planning commission meetings, media interviews, we've underscored the hundreds of hours of research, the incredible level of expertise, and the unprecedented amount of community and owner engagement that has contributed to building the Sunrise Tomorrow plan. All that work culminates in tonight's hearing. We're presenting a data-driven, research-based plan that has the potential to shift our entire region's economic future. Our specific plan lays the groundwork for transforming a 100-acre Sunrise Mall site into a vibrant, mixed-use community, creating a destination for the community to live, shop, work, and play. And while the plan is momentous in that right alone, I also know that this project has the potential to serve as a national case study in how local government, when armed with motivated staff and an engaged community, can influence real, meaningful change when it comes to economic stewardship. I want to thank the thousands of engaged community members, our city staff and elected officials, the Gensler team, and mall ownership for taking this journey with us. Again, it's such an honor to present the Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan, which has been years in the making. So I'll pass it over now and let our team take you through the presentation. Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Casey Kempen, our planning manager. Can you all hear me okay and see the screen all right? Okay. Before I get started in presentation, I just wanted to echo Chris's comments and echo how this is a team effort. Megan and I have worked hand in hand over the last 2 years, ups and downs, and getting this project to you tonight. But it wasn't just Megan and I, that was a giant team effort. We have just about every department in the city has touched this plan in some form or fashion. As I said, it was 2 years in the making, and it's a product of extensive collaboration between the project team, the city's stakeholders, owners, residents, and beyond. We also have a great team of experts here today on the Zoom. This includes Gensler, Fair and Peers, DeNovo, and Mark Thomas available to answer questions. Also would like to recognize the support and direction for this project from our city leadership. From meeting with the owners back in 2018 through tonight, City Manager Chris Boyd has provided the vision and support to navigate this often complicated and daunting process. I think Chris knew early on in his role as city manager that we need to be proactive in the mall's future. Through his support and guidance, we are here tonight to present to you the specific plan. I'd also like to piggyback on the council's proclamation recognizing Colleen's contribution to the Citrus Heights community. And as Chris mentioned, her hands have touched just about every project in the city over the last 20 years. She's been deeply involved in this project as well, and I can't think of a better way to send her off into retirement than this project. Also, one point of order, the council, we received a late letter that was added to your packet. I think Megan emailed you last night from NAMDAR. As you know, we've been working closely with them over the last 2 years, and we received a letter yesterday from Eagle NAMDAR supporting this specific plan. In addition to that, you'll see a number of other letters of support from adjacent property owners, regional partners, including Regional Transit, SACOG, and GSEC. And with that, I'll get into the presentation. So tonight, we are moving forward to Planning Commission's recommended approvals of the Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan. Last month, the Planning Commission unanimously recommended that the council take these actions. The first is to certify the EIR. The second is to adopt the specific plan. A third is amending the general plan and adding a new land use category called marketplace mixed use, including updated policies related to specific plan implementation, and then rezoning the property from special planning area and adopting a special planning area. So first, the general plan amendment. Right now, the property is designated as general commercial. We are proposing a marketplace mixed use land use designation. And this is the tool that allows us to have a really robust and densified and mixed use product type here at the mall that we wouldn't currently fit in any of our existing designations. The general plan amendment includes minor text amendments that help formulate the marketplace mixed use designation, and then updates the policy 12.3 that the council adopted a few years ago that really set this whole specific plan in motion. As you probably recall, that policy basically said the city needs to go prepare a specific plan to make sure we're protecting and preserving this property and getting the highest and best use. Well, we're nearing completion with that. And so instead of saying go complete a specific plan, it's saying you need to implement that specific plan. And then a number of actions that help guide that implementation, including being flexible when it comes to the rules that are in the specific plan, promoting it as a self-sustaining and fiscally beneficial plan, making sure that we have high quality design, and then make sure that we're considering uses that are walkable, pedestrian friendly, and making it a place where people would like to come. So the first thing that we do as a city when we consider adopting a specific plan is making sure it's consistent with the general plan. And I have on the screen here a few of the most relevant policies, but if you go through our general plan, this plan really ticks off a lot of those checklists of things that we've been talking about doing for years or have been doing in some form of fashion for a number of years, including focusing on the marketplace, returning it to its prior prominence and making it a place where people want to really spend time, money, work, live, and play. Transforming it and moving away from a only retail focus into a diversified land use perspective and adding services that we don't currently have. And then also making sure that it's not just a parking lot, there's open space and things for folks to enjoy as well. So I think if you reviewed the specific plan, you'll see all those themes carry throughout the plan. The next action we're requesting is to rezone the property to SPA. Currently, the property is zoned shopping center, and we would rezone the property to special planning area, which, as you know, we have a number of those. We have the Boulevard Special Planning Area, the Mitchell Farm Special Planning Area, and a handful of others. So this is a similar tool that would essentially, when you look at the zoning code, would point to the specific plan for the rules and regulations that apply to this particular property. In addition, we are asking the council to certify an EIR. The final EIR is comprised of these components, as you see here on the screen. The draft EIR was circulated earlier in the fall. Any changes that were required were made to that draft. Any comments received were responded to. And then, of course, making sure we have a mitigation monitoring plan to make sure that we are, as new development comes in, we're following the rules that are specified in the EIR. The EIR includes a statement of overriding considerations. The EIR found that there would be significant impacts that are not mitigatable in air quality and greenhouse gases. And so the statement of overriding considerations essentially says we recognize that there are these potential impacts, but the economic and other benefits that this project will result in outweighs those potential impacts. And then CEQA findings of facts, and that's essentially the document where we document the facts that help support our conclusions in the EIR. And then in a minute, I'm going to turn it over here to Gensler, to James and Nate with Gensler to go over the overview of the specific plan, but just kind of a couple of high points I wanted to cover. The specific plan really acts as the zoning and general plan for the site. It introduces new uses. It creates a ceiling for development. It also ensures that we have a holistic approach to the varying property owners and unique features of the site. It really is set up to be very flexible, and it is the long-term vision for the plan. With that, I will turn it over to James and Nate over at Gensler.
Thank you, Casey, and good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. It's really a pleasure to be here this evening to share the details of the specific plan. And I'll just try to pull up my screen here. All right, hopefully everyone can see the specific plan presentation on screen. As Casey mentioned, the purpose of this project comes from the general plan and the guidance that you've established in there to create a specific plan to guide the development of the Sunrise Mall property, to realize the city's general plan vision, which is to transform the mall into a premier regional destination, a flourishing center of community life where residents and visitors can shop, live, work, and play. And hopefully that's what we've accomplished with the plan that you'll be considering this evening. The existing conditions and the site to locate you is the current Sunrise Mall site, about 95 acres in size, comprised of multiple parcels with different property owners. And today there's about 1.4 million square feet of building area and about 6,400 parking spaces. And a little background on the project. Of course, the mall itself actually dates back to the very beginning of Citrus Heights, even before the incorporation of the city. And it's really been central to the life of the city since then. In 2019, recognizing that fact, the city adopted the general plan amendment requiring a specific plan and really starting the process that's led us to tonight. So we began our work with the city, kicking off the plan project in October of 2019. And throughout that process, we've had a series of community workshops and also updates to you and the Planning Commission in February and March of 2020. We were able to do that in person. And then since the pandemic, we've switched to a virtual participation method, but have continued to engage the community with additional workshops in June of that year, and then most recently in August. And we've also been working to present and provide updates to both yourselves and the Planning Commission, most recently in October. A few of the updates since the draft plan was released. We've worked with the city staff to provide increased flexibility to allow the plan to better respond to changing market demands. And as part of that, we've streamlined the process for minor administrative modifications that allows the planning staff to better respond to changes that may occur in the market or as are needed as the plan is implemented. And we've also updated some of the sustainability policies in the plan in response to agency comments and community comments that were received. And I just want to really emphasize and also thank all of the members of the community who've come out to help in this process, to share their ideas, to share their vision, both in person, online, in one-on-one meetings, and in larger group settings. I think you can see from the photos here, it really reflects a cross-section of the community. It's a testament to the depth of feeling that people have for this site within the city as an important part of this community, and the plan that we've been able to prepare, hopefully reflects that community vision, and our role has been to try to document that and create a document that will allow the community's vision to be implemented. Just a few metrics. to share. The process began with stakeholder interviews. We had over 300 people at our first in-person community workshop and 200 plus people at virtual workshops. And with the project website, we've had hundreds of comments, over 12,000 website visits, and the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Over 82% of participants said they were very extremely excited about this project and seeing it come to fruition. And the vision that was articulated by the community members and is the guiding principle for this plan is creating a new heart for Citrus Heights. And here to talk more about that, I'll turn it over to our project director, Nate Cherry.
Good evening, council members, Manager Boyd, and staff members. It's a pleasure to be here. We started this more than 2 years ago, and I wish I was there with you all. And there have been so many things that have happened between now and then. And what you're looking at, I just want to mention, is just I think something that we should all be really proud of and excited about. It's a testimonial to a real alignment and leadership on the local level, a real example of functional local government, and a real forward-looking plan. And what I mean by that is everything that you see in this plan is really a manifestation of what the community has told us that they really want to see. And so it's really a collaborative, co-authored plan. Some of the key elements I'll go through in a little bit of detail just to refresh your memory about some of the key parts and pieces that make it so great. Next slide, please. So the main street is really based on a real desire for people to have a place where they can come and walk, interact with each other, maybe have a business on the first floor, upper story office or residences that look out over the street, a place where you could walk and bike and interact and see community members, all those chance interactions that happen in great urban centers, that it's going to have a scale that's very much in keeping with what Citrus Heights is like, 2 to 3 story buildings with tree-lined small pocket parks and other opportunities where you can sit, have a coffee, and interact. And it's really going to revitalize the retail experience and provide a lot more dining and entertainment opportunities, really in a fresh format that is going to also feel very familiar because it's going to have that classic feel. So we're really excited about the main street as kind of the main spine of the project. Next slide, please. Many people talked most passionately, I think, about a place where everybody could gather. And that's really what Sunrise Commons is all about. It's a place where people can sit, spread out a blanket, throw a Frisbee, see 4th of July fireworks. It's really going to become the heart of the community, a place where everybody comes together. It's going to be that address that Citrus Heights is going to be known for, and it's going to feel so classic and familiar. Nobody's going to believe in 20, 30 years that it's relatively new. It's going to feel that familiar and that much a part of what Citrus Heights is all about. So that Sunrise Commons is something that people talked about over and over again as a place to gather, a place to meet, a place where the community can come together. And it's not just going to be for residents, it's going to be where workers come and have lunch, and also visitors who are coming to see Citrus Heights, and they're going to be really excited about the community pride that's focused around this place. And Sunrise Commons is going to be that iconic, imageable place that people are going to come back to over and over again. Of course, one of the most exciting things about converting this from an underutilized mall to something else is that we can integrate all these other uses. And so, the Sacramento market in general, the region, and Citrus Heights in particular, is really becoming a very hot market for millennials who are wanting to start a business in biotech and tech. And the Sacramento region is really extremely desirable for that. And Citrus Heights is very well positioned to get more than its share of office development and major employment. Why is that important? It creates another tax base for the community. It creates jobs. It creates a greater diversity to the economy. And it also creates a place, it creates people, live bodies in the downtown, walking around, buying businesses from local businesses and services. And so it really diversifies really what the downtown becomes and what it can be. So we really think an employment anchor is important to this. Next slide. Entertainment has always been a part of what people are really looking for. So, you know, working with the landowners, I think a cinema is absolutely envisioned, but also other entertainment uses, maybe a comedy club or black box theater, as well as outdoor events and other types of activities that really make Citrus Heights known as a place where people can have a lot of fun. So that's going to be an important part. And you'll notice it's at the other end of the street. So at one end, we have that employment anchor. The other end, we have this entertainment anchor. And so you're going to see people walking back and forth. And it's going to have this great daytime, nighttime activity anchors that are going to make the street feel very vital and alive. Of course, one of the other things that people talked a lot about while we were doing our outreach is that they have family members coming to Citrus Heights and they have no place to stay. And so the opportunity for a variety of hospitality offerings is really important. Why is diversity so important in this asset class? Well, you need hotels for the businesses. You need extended stay hotels for workers who are going to be working nearby. And then you also need boutique hotels and full service hotels for family and residents who want to come and visit Citrus Heights. And so it really fills a need that that many local residents were talking to us about, that we need to have at Citrus Heights. Citrus Heights doesn't really have a hotel, and so this really addresses that opportunity and that need. And of course, you can't have a village without villagers, and so in this plan, we're proposing a wide variety of residential typologies, lots of different ways to live, all the way from multifamily apartments and condominiums to townhouses, all the way to duplexes and smaller types of houses. Why is that so important? Because you're going to have so many great amenities here and so many great open spaces that people are going to want to be a part of this neighborhood at a variety of price points. And so this diversity of housing is going to make Citrus Heights more affordable, and it's also going to provide opportunities for people to live in a more urban setting where they might not be that interested anymore in having a single detached house. Maybe they want to be part of an urban environment where they can, you know, walk to a coffee shop, or, you know, see a play, or, you know, go to work within walking distance. All of those options are going to be really fresh and new and exciting opportunities that Sunrise Tomorrow offers. And so people are going to be really excited. This is going to be a very differentiated product mix that's going to be totally unique in this marketplace. And so a diversity of housing is really important for that. Of course, what's so terrific also about this site is almost a quarter of the site is dedicated to open space, and it's a wide variety of open spaces, all the way from walking and running trails to small paseos and courtyards, tree-lined streets, even to what we call agri-hoods, which have an agricultural piece near residential where you can pick up fresh vegetables for the week as part of a co-op. You have this tremendous spectrum of open spaces integrated throughout the site. And of course, trees, so many trees. We're planting so many trees on this site. It's going to become really, it's going to feel almost all entirely like a park. It's going to be so green. And of course, multi-use paths, because we're creating blocks and walkable environments throughout the site. It's going to feel like it's really knit into the city, with tree-lined streets. So we're really excited about that. And that's, people are going to come here just to walk and to hang out. Next slide. And we call it a transit center, which is a bit of a misnomer. You know, there's so much evidence now that younger people and working folks are looking really more for choices, mobility choices with how they get around. Yes, people are always going to have, there's going to be a certain component of people who are always going to want their own car and drive, and we've accommodated that. But we also have given people more choice in terms of bike rental, bike share, pedestrian connections, other modes, scooter and shuttle service that can all become accommodated on the site, and it gives people more choice in ways to get around. And there's a lot of evidence that says that employers are really looking for those mobility choices. And Mayor Miller, you know, will, I'm sure, attest to this, that transit is really an important part of what future cities are all about. And so we've really started to think about that, and it's accommodated on the site. And we think that's going to be a big attractor for development interest. In fact, we're already getting a lot of calls about the project and how the transit would work as a part of the mixed use environment here. And so we spent a little bit of time talking, and we wanted to really address some of the frequently asked questions. And so I'll take the first one, you know, which is about how the plan responds to changes in the market. Is there really demand for office, hotels, entertainment, and residential? The thing to keep in mind here is two things. One is the full build out of this project, it's over 100 acres, is going to take at least a generation. There's going to be a lot of time, and there's going to be a lot of change in the marketplace. And we're already seeing that people are moving from big urban centers, and they're really picking second tier markets, and they're really interested in the Citrus Heights of the world as places to relocate, buy a house, start a business, and so on. And so we think, and there's a lot of evidence that proves this out, that flexibility and the ability to accommodate these other uses that might not necessarily have peak demand today, like office, hotels, and so on, are going to be really important as part of the lifestyle and the quality of life that the developers that we're talking to are really seeking out. So the market might not necessarily be primed for some of those uses today, but over time, it's been proven in project after project that that complement of mix of uses and the flexibility to accommodate a variety of densities, a variety of mixes of uses is going to be really important. And the other thing that's really important to mention is you have such a strong vision for this project that also helps you with your flexibility, because as long as you're adhering to that vision, you'll always be in good stead by accommodating these variations in the marketplace. Next slide.
Thanks, Nate. I'll talk about this next one that I know is going to come up tonight, I'm sure. You know, people want to know, how is the project going to impact traffic? And we have, you know, some great traffic engineers from Fear and Fears on the call who can answer that in more detail. But I'll just say at a high level, of course, looking at the traffic, you know, a required part of the environmental analysis, and a full traffic study was completed. And one of the findings that I think, you know, answers this question more quickly is relative to Sunrise Mall at its peak, when the project is fully built out, there's projected to be about 375 more vehicle trips per hour in the PM peak period. So, you know, there will be more activity, but when you compare it to, you know, the mall when it was fully operating, it's not a significant increase. And some of the reasons why the traffic impacts, you know, are not going to be so great, we think, are because, you know, a quarter of the trips that are going to occur, you know, as we shared, are going to be people moving, you know, from one part of the site to another. So those internal types of trips. And one of the other pieces that's going to help out a lot are some of the capacity improvements that are planned along Sunrise Boulevard, including widening or extending turn lanes, improving some of the signals that all help to mitigate some of the traffic impacts. So, it's true that there's going to be more activity at the site, but the analysis is showing that it's not a huge traffic generator. And I think one of the other points that the analysis didn't get into, but I think worth considering is Citrus Heights a place to drive to or a place to drive through? And today, a lot of people, we saw in the studies, are driving along Sunrise Boulevard, and they might be going from Roseville down to Rancho Cordova, and they're not stopping, they're not spending their money here. And by creating a destination in Citrus Heights where people can live here, so they might not have to drive as far to get to their job, or they can work here, so they might not have to commute out of the city to get to an employment opportunity. It's going to start to change the traffic patterns, and Citrus Heights and Sunrise Boulevard, it'll be less a place for people to drive through and more of a destination for both the community and the region. So we can answer that question in a little more detail if there's follow-ups, but that's a high level look at how the project will impact traffic. And Nate, you want to talk a little bit about the transit? I mean, you mentioned that already about why we think the choice is important, but maybe speak to, is anyone actually going to ride the buses?
Yeah, I mean, Sunrise Boulevard is a very busy bus corridor, and I think that's just going to continue. I think as traffic continues to get worse, people are going to look to other modes in order to get around, and so those other options, transit and bikes and ride share and so on, I think are going to be really important for giving people flexibility and choice. And that's going to help residents, it's going to help visitors, and it's going to help employees getting around, because you're going to be able to optimize how you get around with respect to speed, with respect to cost, and so on. So that transit center is really going to become a hub of activity, and it's going to really attract further development, because people aren't going to necessarily have to rely on driving every place, which ultimately is going to save time. I can only speak for myself, which is that, I work in downtown Los Angeles, and I rarely drive to Los Angeles to downtown, because it's just faster to get around by transit. And I think that's going to continue to increase, and we're going to see that in major urban centers, and also in places that are popular and growing quickly, like Citrus Heights. And so this plan anticipates that and accommodates that with flexibility. The great news is that you don't have to implement all these changes to transit immediately. You have lots of flexibility, and the streets are designed in such a way to accommodate those other modes over time. And so that's a great alternative, because I do think the way streets are going to be used is going to change over time to accommodate these other modes. And we've thought about that in the design of this plan.
And that's a great segue to one of the other questions we get a lot. Who will develop and maintain the streets, the parks, the utilities, open spaces? And the answer is that, the project developers, when they go to propose projects, will pay for new streets, parks, utility improvements, including offsite improvements. And the open spaces and streets within the plan area are intended to be open to the public, but privately owned and maintained, so that the responsibility doesn't fall on the city. And of course, construction phasing and implementation, is going to require coordination between the property owners, developers, and the city. And one of the things that will help that, following the adoption of the specific plan, is there'll be a process for executing development agreements with each of the property owners before development actually occurs. And those agreements between the city and the property owners or developers will spell out who's responsible for what, and what the commitments are going to be ahead of time. And finally, Nate, you want to talk about this last point about the economic and fiscal impacts?
Yeah, I mean, there's one of the amazing things about a project like this is you have three types of employment. You have direct employment, you have indirect employment, and induced. So what does that mean? Direct employment are the jobs that are actually happening on the site. Indirect are the caterers, the food services, you know, all the services that accommodate those jobs that happen adjacent or on the site, that come to the site in order to service those jobs. And then you have induced. What other employment opportunities does a diversified project like this create that create more jobs in the Citrus Heights area? Basically, what we're saying, that's a long-winded way of saying, is this is a job creating engine, this project, because it's so diversified. You're looking at millions of dollars in sale tax every year and thousands of jobs, not only through construction, but also long-time jobs on the site, much more so actually than the mall did at its peak. So the opportunity and the potential that this project had is exponentially greater than what you have now on the site, and that's just going to raise everybody's boat. That's going to increase property values. It's going to create jobs, and it's going to diversify the economy, which is going to make Citrus Heights quality of life that much better. You're going to be able to accommodate more events, other activities that are just going to make the city that much more compelling a place to be and live and work. So the last part is, I just want to compliment everybody on this call and in the city. I have worked for many municipalities, and I can count on one hand the number of projects that I've seen more passion, I've seen more commitment than this community. The people are just so in love with this city, and it's been a real pleasure and a real honor to work on this project. I also want to mention the alignment and the leadership of the city is remarkable. It is a shining example of functional local government and a forward and progressive and optimistic view of the world. And this plan, I really think, is the culmination of all that thinking. The momentum of this project is unbelievable. I mean, COVID couldn't stop it. Nothing can stop this plan. I feel as if you know, people really want to see it happen, and they're really optimistic, and they roll their sleeves up and they want to be a part of it. It's a co-authored plan with the community and leadership. And so it really captures, I think, what Citrus Heights is all about. I think it has tremendous potential, tremendous flexibility, and we're just thrilled to play a part in it. And we're open to answer any questions, and we appreciate the opportunity to work with you on this fantastic project.
Thank you for that presentation. Are there any comments or questions from council members before we go into the public hearing?
Not for me.
Hearing none, I will open the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak on this item, please come up at this time.
I do not have any speaker sheets, and I do not see any raised hands.
Thank you, Amy. Seeing no one rushing up here to offer comments, I'll close the public hearing. And what is the pleasure of the council?
I'd like to make a few comments.
Okay.
So no questions, I don't think, but just comments regarding appreciation for the effort. In the beginning, when we started this, the one comment I made was, or request was, that we received something realistic at the end, and not just a pie in the sky, you know, wouldn't that be wonderful kind of a thing. And we've taken our toe up to that line, I think, a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. And so what we have is something that could happen here in Citrus Heights if the right people come along and want to see this work. And so I'm very happy about that. It has a lot of the components that I really love about it, especially the entertainment area. I think that the future of Citrus Heights lies in that. And I would love to see us have some sort of, something like a 2,500 seat type venue where, we're bringing in acts that a lot of us appreciate still from our past, maybe that don't fill stadiums anymore, but they fill little niches. And so that's wonderful. I don't know that we'll see 3 hotels, but I think Citrus Heights can accommodate a hotel. There's a lot of things that go on between here and, let's say, Folsom, and you don't see a lot of hotels popping up in Folsom, and so I think we can benefit from that. But there's a lot of good things here, and the thing I hope people remember mostly, though, is that the city doesn't own the mall. It doesn't own the property. It can't do anything. It can't force anything. What we've done here is we've created kind of a blueprint as to what we'd love to see there. We've completed a very big hurdle in the environmental impact report, which allows development to happen a whole lot quicker. And we've set the stage. And so the next phase will be those that want to succeed in our idea, hopefully will come forward, as we've talked about, and we'll see that development happening. And so very happy with it. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for all the hard work of staff. And it is something that I think we will see at some point in Citrus Heights. Thank you.
Councilmember Bruins, do you have anything to add? Okay. Mayor Miller, how about you?
Jeannie, you were muted if you were trying to speak.
I wonder if we're having some.
No, I was muted. I just couldn't get it going. Sorry. I couldn't get my screen to, shrink so I could get my unmute. Okay, so basically, I do want to thank the Ginsler Group for just partnering so closely with our staff. You become part of the team for this project, and that's so important. Also want to thank Chris Boyd, Megan Huber, certainly Colleen and her group, because none of us, I don't think any of us realizes how much goes into this behind the scenes. We see the result of it, and but a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And so thank you to you as well. I think having an employment center as part of it adds synergy. Adds to the synergy of the project. Very excited about that. Couple of things I wrote down that I think are important to the philosophy around this project. One is the flexibility over time, because given what we're seeing today, we know it's not going to look like this exactly as it builds out. But the flexibility to address changes in the needs of the community and the economy of the community, and what is, we can't foresee that's going to happen in 10 years. I think it's very key to this project. Also, the diversity of the economy and how this is going to usher that in a much bigger way speaks directly to one of the goals that the council has put in place through our strategic planning sessions. And so I think it tells me that you've paid attention to what's important to us, and you've, even greater than that, paid attention to what's important to the community. The opportunity for them to speak into this project has been enormous, and they have responded in kind. And I think each of us could say, certainly I can say that whenever I go or have a speaking engagement, the first question out of people's minds is what's going to happen to the mall? And it's so great to have this kind of an answer to that question. Very supportive of it. Thank you so much and look forward to its implementation.
Mayor Miller, do you have any comments?
Doesn't appear that he is on the Zoom at this time.
Councilmember Schaefer.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Middleton. Yes, a couple of years ago when this was presented, I looked at it and I actually spoke to lots of community members out there, and there was some optimism, a lot of optimism. There was also a little bit of negativity here. When I kind of looked at and I was on the planning commission when we had a joint meeting to discuss this, and I kind of saw it, I was excited about it, but I saw 100 acres worth of hurdles. And what I'm excited about is I want to congratulate interim city manager Chris Boyd and his team for a lot of hard work. And I read this letter from NAMDAR. With this letter, we found our stride in crossing those hurdles. This is incredibly powerful. I didn't think I'd ever see a letter of support from NAMDAR, from the owner of the Sunrise Mall. And this is evidence of that. I'll read the one sentence that's really kind of powerful, and that is, we have been working closely with city staff to discuss redevelopment options for our property and support the approval of the Sunrise Mall specific plan. I thought I'd never see those words. So huge congratulations to Megan Huber, to Chris, to Gensler. This is wonderful news. We're not done crossing the hurdles yet, but like I said, I think we found our stride. I think we'll be able to forge forward and overcome some of the funding issues that we're concerned about. But I think that overall, this is very exciting.
I'll add my couple of comments. So based on the data that we received, we had over 500 workshop attendees, both virtual and in person, over 12,000 website visits. That lets us know that this is a plan that was the vision, what came from the city. We understood that we had to put our arms around this site to come up with a plan, but this is really a community-driven vision. All of that input lets us know that our community has serious buy-in. They're ready for this change and they're excited about what's coming in the future. And I'm very excited that, Gensler and staff and interim city manager Boyd were able to incorporate our community to make sure their voices were heard. And this plan, you can tell, it's bold, it's big, but it reflects the dreams of Citrus Heights. There are no other comments. I'll entertain some motions.
Well, I'll start it off by moving that we adopt the resolution to certify the environmental impact report, approving CEQA findings and statement of overriding considerations, and adopting a mitigation, monitoring, and reporting program.
Second.
Motion by Bruins, second by Daniels. Roll call.
Councilmember Bruins,
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels,
Aye.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Middleton,
Aye.
and Mayor Miller is absent.
Okay, I will also move that we approve a resolution adopting a general plan map amendment for the Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan.
Second.
Motion by Bruins, second by Daniels. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bruins,
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels,
Aye.
Member Schaefer,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Middleton,
Aye.
and Mayor Miller is absent.
Okay, I will move to introduce the first reading, read it by title only and waive the full reading of this ordinance. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights, California, amending Article 5, Chapter 106.50 of the zoning ordinance, rezoning the property from shopping center into the Sunrise Tomorrow special planning area.
Second.
Motion by Bruins, second by Daniels. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bruins,
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels,
Aye.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Middleton,
Aye.
and Mayor Miller is absent.
And finally, I move that we approve a resolution of the City Council of the City of Citrus Heights adopting the Sunrise Tomorrow specific plan.
Second.
Motion by Bruin, second by Daniels. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bruins,
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels,
Aye.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Middleton,
Aye.
and Mayor Miller is absent.
Okay, next item, please.
I think we
Next.
should cheer.
Oh, yay! Next item.
Next item is department reports, and we have none. The next item is city manager items.
Not tonight. Thank you. That made my night there. So thank you.
Next item is items requested by council members or future agenda items.
Any items?
Nope.
Looks like we are adjourned at 8:25.
Thank you.
Thank you all.